Wow, I was going to delay doing this reading because there's some pretty intense energies going on at the moment. It's very intense. So I thought I would work through it on the video and I would say g'day anyway. Still getting used to all this new stuff, being on video rather than doing things live face to face. The world is a bit upside down at the moment. So I thought I'd do an intuitive reading and do a card reading on people's journeys. Where are they at the moment in their journey? And so I've asked the guides and angels to tell me some hidden secrets, some words of wisdom and encouragement for people, because the energies do feel a bit heavy at the moment, and I thought I'd go with it. So here we go. So I already pre-pulled the cards out. I just thought I'll just go with it. So anyway, wherever this finds you in your journey of life, my hope is that you're blessed anyway by the video. And so I'm just going to do a quick look at the cards and check. So, okay. Okay, so I've had a look at some of the cards that have been turned over. There's some I've got a beautiful deck, which is the Rumi deck. Rumi is old ancient wisdom, and it's by Alana Fairchild, and the cards are beautifully designed and they're really gorgeous. And I think that it's speaking to what I was feeling of the energy before I started this video, which is this heaviness that's around at the moment. I guess on the journey, we do a lot of inner work, and I kept hearing things before about patience and about the water when there's a shifting of the tide, when the ocean reverts and the tide goes out. And if you're just looking at that moment and that period of time where the tide's going out, you can feel like things are drying up, like nothing seems to be happening, that things are moving away from you rather than coming towards you. And sometimes we forget that the tide comes back in and things come back to us. And I've been getting this sense for the last hour or so that people are feeling a lot of pain through separation, through everything that's going on in the world at the moment, and especially with people that have been on the journey for a while, and they're wondering when the tide is going to turn. And you've got to remember, the tide turns. The ocean is a powerful body, and as we know, the moon's phases very much interacts with the body of water of the oceans of the world, and they're all interconnected. And I think there's this interconnectedness in the collective consciousness with all the DMs and DFs at the moment, where the sands are shifting on the shores, where the body of water, even though, if you can imagine, every ocean is connected together. And I know as human beings, we like to label things. And I was thinking before about, some people get paid as an occupation to label things. I won't go into that too much, but but we label all these different bodies of water. And yes, there are some that are contained in spaces where they are inland oceans, I guess you could call them, where they're separate. But underneath all of that, right underneath all of that, still underground where we can't see, the water's the waters are connected. And I think that, even though we label things, the ocean bodies all around the world, we draw up lines that are invisible, create borders and boundaries that are based on geographic lines that are created by human beings. And sometimes we can forget source is that body, is the full body of the ocean, and that full body of the ocean is us, and we are all one, but yet we're on our own. And we are that label of that individual. Here I am, I'm Robin, and this is who I am. But we are the ocean, and the ocean is love, and we are all love. Anyway, so this journey, sometimes it can feel like you're alone and that people don't understand you. And so I'm getting the sense of the energy today that there's this shifting going on at the moment. Obviously we're all getting ready for New Year's when this is recorded, and this is timeless, so it doesn't matter when you see it. It's about your personal journey, so it's definitely about where you're at the time and when you attract it. And I believe that we attract everything for a reason. So we're the body of the water. So today I'm talking about the body of the water being the whole collective. DMs and DFs on the journey and the overriding energies that are going on in there. So I've pulled out a couple of cards and I'm going to start with them now. So the cards are dictating. So at the moment, card 32, it's a beautiful card. It's like this woman that's like pulling back and withdrawing. She's feeling and she's sensing the warmth of the divine masculine, and she can see he's around, and energetically we're feeling it. Energetically we can tell it's there, but we're shying away a little bit at the moment with everything that's going on, and we're doing a lot of inner work and we're working on ourselves, and it's like the tides are at that point where they're shifting, and the moon phases come in, and we've just had the full moon, and as a part of that it's come in and the tide's shifting, and so we've been looking at it and we're forgetting that it's shifting and that it's about to come in. And I feel that the divine feminines are starting to draw on their own inner strengths and their own inner powers, and they're starting to see as a collective, just how powerful a voice we can really have when we all stand together. And divine feminines are coming together and talking more and supporting each other. And I feel that this is the overall energy that I'm feeling at the moment, is this, yes, I can see this warmth and I can see this beauty, and I'm feeling this energy and I'm touching it, but it's quite intense at the moment because it is at that point where there's that shift happening, and we've had a lot of shifts since the 21st of December where the energy is shifting all at once, and the gravity to change from it being the tide being out to the tide coming in. There's a massive shift that happens in order for that to happen, and we've been going through this wave of energy as a result of that. And so this card, card 32 out of the Rumi deck that I was talking about, that she's offering the sacred wine, so drink. So now it's come to this point where we're now looking at it and we're offering the divine feminine the opportunity to come to us, and we're pulling back a little bit in our energy, and we're standing back and we're waiting for him to present himself. We're waiting for him to allow us to be able to be in that space where we can stand in our own, be our own sacred wine, and then allow for the divine masculine to come to us. And there's times in our lives where we do need to withdraw a little, and we do need to sit back and just allow things to happen around us. And I feel that that's going on with the energy of the divine feminines at the moment. The merciful mother of Jamal is the sacred woman, and the path that she's on, and illuminating for herself what is happening, and allowing her own fragrance to be around her surroundings, and for that to waft and like a field of flowers. I see a field of flowers where the bees are going, and they're sampling the pollen from all the different flowers. However, in in that movement, and they're flurrying backwards and forwards and collecting to make their honey. And the end result is this beautiful honey that comes together from this nectar, and it doesn't look like they're doing anything other than bumbling around from flower to flower. And in fact, the bigger picture of that is that they go back and they work together in the hive together, and they create this magnificent sweet honey that comes from the pollen of the flowers. And I think if we were to compare the pollen of the flowers and eat that, and then take in the sweetness and the sublime taste of the honey, the process has to go through the steps that it's required to. Nothing can be missed for that honey to be produced, because if a part of that process doesn't happen, then the honey doesn't get produced, and it doesn't have its fullness and its substance. And it's like with the tides going out, that I'm feeling that at the moment the processes are happening, and a lot is happening in secret. A lot is happening under the surface. A lot of inner work is happening for us. And what I'm feeling is that the universe is creating and bringing together the different elements, so that the timing is right, so that people and places connect in the right way, so that people can meet. And I don't think anything's random. I think that there's some design to things. We can't see the design. We can't see what's going on or what's going to happen. But we certainly know that, some things are unmistakable when connections happen. And I feel with that current energy, we're sitting in that shift that's going from, the tide being out to the tide coming in. And at the moment in that shift, that process is taking place and bubbling away, that connections and synchronicities are going to start to be seen, and you're going to start to see signs of what's going on. But at the moment, it's kind of a bit up in the air. There's definitely an energy going on at the moment where it's drawing up, and this is the fourth card of the deck, and it's the Cloak of Christ, and this definitely depicts, when you have a look at it, you can see Christ is standing in the middle, and you've got this beautiful white light energy that's surrounding him with the love and the red energies coming in, and it's drawing up. It's like we're the body of Christ in this case, and we're drawing up, and he's standing there solid, and it's almost like a reflection of the divine masculine. The moment they're drawing up their energy, so they're going to the universe, they're doing a lot of work, and they're working on themselves. And it looks like to the divine feminine that's over here, kind of shying away, going, I'm presenting myself, but I'm waiting. And I think what we're waiting for is this Christ-like energy, this love energy, this Christ consciousness of unity and oneness coming in, where this is the divine masculine drawing up all the energy from the universe as he goes through shifts and changes. And it's the changing of the tides for him in respects to, not understanding what he was thinking or feeling, but now learning new things about himself and going through spiritual growth. And there's this shift of growth where the divine masculines are becoming more aware of who they are in respects to where they are on their journey, what's happening with them, and why they're thinking and feeling the way they are. And they're going into themselves and they're pondering, and they've got all these secrets, and some of them are around the divine feminine, but they're not yet going to the divine feminine to speak to the divine feminine. Maybe they're going to close friends or loved ones and say, I would like your advice, especially those that are going through the current phase of spiritual awakenings that some of them are having on that new level. And what 2020 is representative of a lot of people being on their own and drawing in and having to figure out who am I and where am I at. And so I think that this energy is talking about that, um, just going through now, because I mean, obviously I've drawn the cards already. I've got really small hands and I quite often drop them and it takes me quite a while to get them out. And so I've been going through and having a look, and this card deck is the visionary Jing set, and it's quite an amazing set of cards to use, and it's about ancient wisdom. And so at the moment, the divine masculine seem to be focused on their limits and their connections, towards nature. And again, just as confirmation, if you have a look, you can see nature's pretty involved with what's going on with the divine masculine. They're thinking and they're pondering and they're going out in nature and they're looking at the perceptions they've held, the limitations that they've had on themselves, and now they're looking at renewal and refreshing, and they're going out in nature. And I've heard some DMs talk about this lately and post about it, but this is water above, lake below. It's talking about the water itself is there. It's like the rain that falls down and it fills up the body of water of the lake. It's like the tears that fall down. And I think the divine masculines at the moment are getting quite teary with the journey that they're going on. They're purging a lot of the old. They're now searching and asking themselves, who am I? I've spent a lot of time on my own, and now I'm coming out and I'm looking at this new season in my life, this new cycle in my life, and they're feeling more pulled towards, exploring who they are, what they want right now, going into nature and just pondering in nature. They're looking at the increase. Wind above, thunder below is all about increase. It's like you can. You have the wind that's on the surface area of the earth, but the thunder happens up in the clouds. They're two different opposing energies that are happening at the moment, and they can feel the wind. They're becoming aware of the wind around them. They're starting to see things in a new light and a new perspective, but they're also now, as they're increasing and going up in levels, they're discovering the thunder. They're discovering that there's more above, that there's even more, and they're reaching for that more. They're looking for that increase, that increased connection to everything around them, the increased connection, and they're becoming more aware of how they are as an individual in the full collection. And it's increased. So I wanted to have a look at some numbers that are coming out. I mean, a lot of people into numerology. I'm not so much into it. However, these might resonate. So I think there's shifts that are going on at the moment, and I pulled the cards out. I've got an Alice in Wonderland set of cards, which is they're quite cute, and the little characters on there. There's little pigs, and it's the divine feminine, I think, is carrying and has been for a couple of months, the emotional burden and responsibility for the growth that's happening within the divine masculine and feminine balance at the moment in the energies. And I think it's getting to a time where maybe towards the beginning of the month, depending on which month you see this is timeless, that maybe potentially, around the 9th of the month, there'll be a shift where the divine feminine won't be carrying that burden so much anymore emotionally or physically, where the divine masculine, the shift's going to happen and they're going to present themselves more, and they'll start to take on more of the energetic responsibility in respects to leading. And there's like this dance that's going on at the moment. So I feel for some of you, the fourth of the month is going to be a time where things are going to speed up, where it might seem like no one's around the divine masculine's not around all of a sudden by the 4th. There's going to be an unexpected invitation to go out to a dinner or something like that, and I really feel that that's the case. I think around 7 days from now, or maybe the 7th of the month, that there's going to be some sort of a gathering where people are going to come together, and for some of the divine masculines and feminines, they may actually be introduced by mutual parties. I think that we're starting to take hold of things. I think we're looking at this shift in energy, as I said before, and this is taking place. And I think for some of you, you may take some time out just for you. You need rest. The divine feminine's been, as I said, carrying a lot of the emotional burdens, and you're going to take time out just to think yourself as well. So there's going to be the ebb and flow, like the tides coming in and out, where over the next month, I feel that the divine masculines and feminines balancing their own internal masculine and feminine energy, there's going to be a shift backwards and forwards from the divine masculine and feminine partnerships, even if they're not yet in unity or don't know each other, that they're working together on that higher 5D realm, working on those energies and balances in order for things to start shifting enough to come down to 3D, where there's a potentiality for courtship or dating or meeting, and there'll be coincidences where one person will introduce you, or you might be led. I feel that some people, and this is a personal message for somebody that's asking for a sign, that you're going to be led to go to a particular place for a job. I hear the word work, so I'm assuming that you may be a contractor of some sort, and there may be offers on the table, and you're weighing up which offer should I take in respects to which direction I go, and you'll intuitively know. So you need to take time out and just check in and see intuitively where you feel you need to go. But I feel there's a divine connection that's going to happen, and whether it's an associate or a person that's around or in the same occupation as you may be, a link in the chain in the right direction for you in order for your divine masculine to come into your life. I'm seeing blonde hair, short blonde hair, so I'd say the divine masculine has short blonde hair, and I'm seeing some of that come through. And I feel as the collective, as the full body, the full oceans of the world, we are going through a transition period at the moment over the next few months, where we're going to see more and more partnerships come together. I think that people have evaluated over the last year or so, given everything that's happened in the world, what they want in their life, and looking at new perspectives and looking at what they want. And I feel that, all of that, the energy shifting, all of that work that has taken place is now starting to, like the fruit of the tree is starting to bear, and it's starting to ripen, and over the coming months, so that will be more and more. I feel I just want to have a look at some opportunities that are coming in for people, and I'm feeling that for some people, there's a shift in a house that may have something to do with it. It may be that you shift houses, and when you go to a new area, that you find that you get involved with a new group of friends, or you may have to shift for work. And when you shift, then divine connections and divine timing starts, and that is the catalyst towards you meeting your DM or DF. And just as a supportive reference, this is not energy is energy, and everything is energy, and therefore this is not specific to a male and female partnership. This could be somebody that is the same-sex orientation, and therefore, you need to look at what resonates with you, what speaks to your heart, and look at that stuff in respects to what you're doing. But I feel just for some of you, there may be a shift in occupation. That means you move houses, or you may move houses, but that then allows you to meet a new group of people, and in doing so, that then creates a space where you're going to be looking at the potentiality of then being able to meet the DM or DF in that location. I feel like there's kind of an elephant in the room in respects to some of you. I feel that you are, it could go two ways. I'm reading it two ways. It's either you feel like there's so much going on in life at the moment that you're trying to eat the elephant all at once. You're trying to eat everything at once. You're trying to take it all in at once. And maybe potentially some of the DMs are feeling, or DFs are feeling overwhelmed with how much is going on at the moment. And so therefore that may be why we were looking before at some of the DFs are withdrawing and evaluating their situation. And that may be why, the DMs are drawing up on strength and drawing up on the strength and understanding and going to people that they know, asking them, they may be new in the spiritual sense to the growth that they're going through at the moment, and they may be asking for advice and helping people, asking for people around them to help them. And I feel like, predominantly over this month, but over the next couple of months, I feel for the people that are hearing this and listening to this video, which I thank you for, by the way. I'm all new at doing it on videos, so I'm still navigating that. So sometimes it'll be it'll be a bit rough, but I'm sure we'll all get through together. That this balance is happening with the divine masculine and feminine, where she is withdrawing back and he is going into himself. So they're doing the same thing, but in a different way slightly. But I think, for some people, it may very well be that you're feeling like there's a full elephant going on at the moment. And especially I know when I went through my own personal spiritual awakening that it was quite an intense time. And there was a lot of things that happened that I didn't understand. And I reached out and went off to other people to get advice. And some of you may very well want to join groups that you normally wouldn't join just to find out information. I feel like, there just seems to be a lot going on with the energy at the moment. And what I want to also do is I want to look at, when I was preparing and I was looking at what cards to use and what I was going to do, obviously I was talking and trying to find out, what archangels were around you at the moment and where you were being guided through that. And so I've pulled out the cards and I got two archangels for this reading. And so I want to talk to you at the moment about Raphael. So it's Page of Raphael. And it talks about being gentle, loving, dreamy, open-hearted. So there's a new emotional situation, messages regarding relationships or social invitation, great intuitive insight. So that's confirmation for what I was getting intuitively before in the reading about the fact that this is what's going on at the moment with these divine timing and these connections at the moment. So, Page of Raphael, so Archangel Raphael saying at the moment, please trust in me, I'm around you. And what I'm doing is I'm orchestrating to get messages, and some of you may spontaneously get a message from someone you haven't heard from for a while, and that person will invite you somewhere, and whether it's a public place or whether it's a private gathering, you may very well then start, as I said to you, meeting people. So this is just confirmation. I like getting confirmation during the reading as I'm doing it intuitively to begin with, and then the cards bringing it out, and they're definitely confirming, there's a new emotional situation going on. So that's the growth that's going on emotionally in the DMs at the moment. And there's definitely messages about relationships and social invitations. And, you've got to use your intuition and follow your intuition, which is your gut feel about, does this feel right for me and what I should do, especially for those that are making choices, if they're changing occupations or if they're changing locations in order to get a new occupation. And the other one that I got out was the Tool of Ariel. And it is important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once makes work fun. So at the moment, and this is what I was saying, and again, this confirms what I was saying before. So this may be a reading that specifically resonates with someone. I believe everything happens for a reason, and you'll find this video when you need it. It's important to have balance. And so this is the thing about the masculine, feminine, DMDF dynamic, but you also have masculine and feminine yin and yang within you. And with the yin and yang inside of you, everything has balance. And so the masculine and feminine inside of us needs to be balanced. And sometimes you can get overwhelmed and you want to go to a place where you're too much in your masculine when you're a divine feminine, and so therefore that makes a divine masculine that's around you retreat. So just bear that in mind, but definitely play and have fun. You've got to play with your energy. You've got to have fun with your life. You've got to make sure that you fill it up with laughter and joy. And you may find that it's while you're out having fun, doing something that you enjoy, a hobby. I'm hearing bowling. I'm hearing mini golf. I'm hearing, swimming pools and that sort of stuff. And so, there might be a circus in town and you might just spontaneously decide that you want to go to a circus and you attend that, and there happens to be someone that the angels put next to you that you become friends with, that then introduces you. I mean, things happen in remarkable ways that they're able to bring people together. It's just incredible, some of the stories that I've heard over the years that I've been doing it. I'll tell you a little story that I actually met a gentleman and then he went on online dating and he met another woman, and at the time he didn't know that I knew her, and I was attending a church at the time and she was at the church, and I actually introduced them face to face for the very first time, but both of them I knew beforehand. It's just incredible. As I said, miracles happen, and it's incredible the way things happen. So I want to have a look now and see what is the specific messages for the DMs and the DFs right now in what you can do. So this is what I'm asking at the moment. So that's the messages that I'm going to get, and I've got the cards now to reveal those messages to you. So 18, again, what I'm getting is confirmation of what I was talking at the beginning of the video. So like the ocean is your God self. It remains forever undefiled. So this is talking about the ocean, and this is talking about and confirming what I was saying earlier on in the reading about we're the full body and we're the full ocean and we are love. And so we never step out of love. We just simply, our mind sometimes can get in the way and interfere with what we're doing. And this is the clearing that's going on and the new perceptions that are coming, particularly for some people. They may very much like the beach. They may very much like being around water, lakes, and that sort of stuff. I know personally I do. It's one of my favourite things to do. So yeah, so maybe that's where it all happens. But it's like we're all one, and we're all the body of water. And the God self is the body of water, and the physical body, that's a representation of us as an individual while we're here incarnate. And so this is definitely the confirmation I'd be looking for to say, yeah, we're going the right direction in respects to the messages that you're receiving today, which I'm quite happy with. And the second one that I've got is card 42, and that is come and be one of us, the farewell. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at the divine masculine is standing aside. He's up on the hill. He's triumphant. He's accomplished what he wants to accomplish. He's done the inner work that he wants to, and he's got to an emotionally stable place where he's discovered enough about himself that he's waiting, and he's like, wow, now I'll ask others to come join me. So he's looking for other people that are on the journey that can be there with him and have the fun and enjoy it. So he's speaking and creating new connections. And those new connections understand more about what's going on in the journey with the TFs and understanding the sacredness of the relationship and what it means. And so he's meeting new people that have the same values and ideas and are on the same journey. So his journey's obviously changed, and he's saying, come up with me. This will also be him coming and requesting on the spiritual realm, on the 5D, for the divine feminine to present herself and come up to where he's come up to, because he's done some work. And so that's really good. Now, I have some blessed cards that I want to do. So before I go today, what I want to do is I want to do a couple of blessings for you. And so the first blessing that I'm going to do today is a blessing for a fresh start. And so this is the journey. This is for those of you that this resonates with. You're getting a clean slate. You're moving forward in a new direction, and it's a clean slate emotionally. You might be tired from an old relationship that's dissolved. This clean slate can directly be related to those that I was talking to before that are looking at moving to a new job or moving to a new location. This is a clean slate, a fresh start, a new beginning for you. And this, obviously, at the time that I recorded this, it was New Year's Eve. So that's definitely, it's a new year that's coming in. So the next year for you denotes newness, freshness, and a fresh start and a clean slate. So the second message that's coming through for the blessings today is a blessing to bring clarity. So some of you have been seeking signs. Some of you have been seeking clarity on your journey about where you're at and what's going on. And I'm actually going to do a video about that later in respects to a separate video for the divine feminines and a divine masculine about, you know, what it is that they're seeking clarity on, and see if I can find some signs for you guys and some information. But that's a separate reading. Obviously, I'm going to continue. So a lot of new situations are coming. It's going to bring clarity to you. You're going to have a greater understanding of the journey, where you're at with the journey, and what's the next step for you to take. You'll see signs. Pay attention for them. Take that time to be quiet. And in stillness, and meditate, and just ask for the signs. You know, you've got your guides and your angels, depending on your universal perspective. Go to what you know and what is best for you, in order for you to be still and to watch and wait and allow the clarity to come, because the clarity is going to come. It's clearly right now. That's what it's showing me, that one of the final messages for the video today is that clarity is coming to those that are requesting it, and to be still in that. And so before I leave this video today, the last message that Source, the universe, the angels want to send to you, which is really good. And there's actually a kingfisher up here wearing a crown. So it's like, yep, you're prepared, and the divine feminine's doing a really good job with what they've done. And so the final message for this card is a blessing for good work. So there's a blessing that's coming to you, that's a surprise that's going to come to you. Sorry, the energy is shifting again. I have to burp when the energy shifts, which is quite funny. There's a blessing that's coming to you. It's going to be a surprise, but they're saying good work, well done. You're doing an amazing job, and just keep going with what you're doing, and just be present with whatever's going around you. Allow yourself to be open so that you can see the signs when they do come, and you'll get the clarity that you need. So anyway, please do like, please do share, comment. As I said, I'm only new on the channel. I'm used to doing this live face-to-face, and it's all new. Obviously, the landscape of life has changed in the world at the moment, and I felt called to do this. So this is a timeless reading. I thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope that it's given you some sort of a clarity on where you're at with your journey at the moment, the questions you're asking, and revealed some insight for you that would allow you to have clarity and move forward a little bit more. So thank you very much. Have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever time of day or wherever you are in the world. Be blessed, and thank you.